folks, this is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. And my guest today is none other, the incomparable, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ryan Dimmock of Generational Wealth Partners.
Absolutely.
What's happening, man?
I'm good.
Still got action there. I don't know why Okay. All right. So look, let's get into this thing, man. Let's. I mean, well, where you want to go, man? It's a couple different topics I want to cover, but you know, this is gonna be the Ryan Dimmock show today.
I tell you what. Let's jump on something that's near and dear to all of our hearts, which is students. Students.
So you go.
Who want to buy the work, people who want to buy their way to the top. What do I mean when I say that? All right? Glenn, you've dealt with it, I've dealt with it. Mentors, coaches. You get people that pay you 5, 10, 15, 20,000, whatever it may be. And
that's enough for them to make $1 million.
That's enough for them to make
15 minutes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What they're trying to do is buy your experience, right?
Right.
Now, the problem with that is the level of expectation they have when they pay you this $10,000, which is really for your time, right?
Yeah.
If I'm with you for 4 to 6 months at $10,000, I literally just made probably about $2,000 a month. I could have worked a job.
Wait a minute.
If that.
Right.
If that.
If you could put a specific number value on the knowledge and experience that we have for forget what we've done, but the knowledge and experience that we have. I mean, I don't think there was a number you can actually put on the knowledge and experience.
You can't. I've went through the experience. I've spent 20 years of going through the experience, and you want to pay $10,000 for my 20 years.
and that's supposed to change it. It changed their knowledge and experience in 20 minutes. 20
minutes. And the crazy part is, you don't even want to do the work. So all the work that I put in, the nights that my family didn't eat, or the nights I didn't eat because of family, or the nights I caught the bus, and all the work I put into learning this business and making this business work for me, I'm gonna bundle it all up 20 years, and you're gonna pay $10,000 for it.
Well, because what I say to that is, people look at. I get this all the time. You know, a couple of my mentors has told me a lot of people always look at price versus value. They think because it's something that has 1,000 and some zeros behind it, that should be enough to get what you've got. Would take you 20 years to get, for them to get in 2 days. You know, now, and don't get me wrong, you know.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. And
you think they're supposed to get it in 2 days?
They can't get it in 2 days because I didn't have the 10,000 20 years ago, but I had more. This is what I had more value, added value.
Yes.
I worked for a builder for free for 6 months, sweeping the streets, learning how to work this business. I worked for free for 6 months just to learn it. That nothing was offered to me. Nobody said you're gonna make money. I just wanted to learn this business. I caught the bus from Delk Road to Cleveland Avenue to sweep the streets for free. I fixed Nextel cell phones every day to make $35, $40 so I can pay my $25 for my room, and I could get enough money for my bus. And there was a Wendy's next door. There's a Wendy's next door to the hotel. I ate Wendy's every other night.
Wow.
Every other night. Cold chicken nuggets, whatever it may be. My son was about to be 18. He was born, and I didn't have enough money to buy Infamil. So for me, it's real personal, Glenn. Yeah. It's real personal. Yeah. Because when people pay and don't put the work ethic in, I'm trying to figure out how do you buy success and you're not even willing to go through the struggle it takes to be successful. Without struggle, there's no progress.
Man, say that again. How do you buy success if you're not willing? Tell the folks. So and here's the thing. What I want to make sure the folks get that, because I'm sensitive to people who make the investment. I'm sensitive to people who thought it not robbery initially to invest in themselves. You see what I mean? When you invest that kind of money, you bet on yourself. So, I applaud you. Hat goes off to you for making that investment in yourself, because you're betting on yourself. But what also has to be understood, and like you broke it down and you put it in such great context. When you talk about the sleepless nights, when you talk about having to travel and work for somebody for free, just for you to watch as a student. Nobody pull you to the side and say, write this down and let me show you how to do this. No. But you put in the time to learn these things, and because you see the value and you see the long-term value.
Absolutely.
And what you're doing. So my hat again goes off to the people who invest in themselves. But understand contextually, you have to look at what truly you're investing in yourself, but you're investing in 20 plus years, in many cases experience, that you can't buy 20 years for a few $1,000s and expect to get it all in a couple of months.
20. I mean, if you can't even put a number on the experience of 20 plus years. And there's guys who got more, 50 years.
Yes.
40 years.
Yes.
Combined between me and Glenn, how many years is that? How much is that really worth? If somebody is so crazy to me, because I did not go to college, but at the same time, I don't tell anybody not to go to college. But you will take out a loan.
Oh, speak on it, bro.
For $30,000 a year, $120,000 for 4 years, and when you graduate, you got $120,000 plus whatever other debt. Can't file bankruptcy on it.
Ever.
And you know that when you paid that $120,000, that you was gonna get a job making $30,000 a year right out of college. You knew that. Like, they didn't hide it. They didn't say, if you paid me $120,000 and I told you was only make $30,000 after your 4 years, that would be ridiculous to me. I don't understand. You get this college degree and you're guaranteed a $30,000 job. A mentor or a coach will ask you for 5, 10, 15, 20, hell, even $50,000. A lot of people say, oh, that's too much money, $50,000. I get it. But how do you take out a student loan that you got to pay forever no matter what? And in 5 years after college, you still only make $55,000 a year. But you got $120,000 in debt, and you keep deferring, and it's crazy because you're 40 now, and your loans are still deferred. Wow. You graduated 15 years ago. 15 years ago, you graduated, and you're still deferring your loans.
Man, you said a word, man, that's real interesting in what we're talking about. You said the word guarantee.
Guarantee you $30,000, maybe $120,000. I guarantee after 4 years you'll make $30,000.
And well, here's the thing with that. Here's what's crazy. They invest that money with a guarantee of getting. Well, at least what conceptually you
get it out, Glenn, because you believe you'll get a
job, right?
It'll bless you if you let it.
You're supposed to get a job. You're supposed to be guaranteed a job, but then 30 years into you going into the degree that you initially started with, you change your major.
Woo. I ain't even talk about that.
And you go to a whole different lane because now you think that this is going to guarantee what you're expecting. So when someone comes to a coach or a mentor or something like that, and they ask for a guarantee, the only guarantee, let me just, I'm gonna lay this out. The only guarantee that you should expect is what you're willing to put in for the investment that you're making.
It'll bless you if you let it.
Right.
If you let it.
You can't expect, because, just because you invested a little money for somebody to coach you, we didn't turn into Jesus and we didn't walk on water. So we can't guarantee you salvation, right? The only and salvation ain't guaranteed unless you confess. That we're gonna preach on that on a whole other day.
Ebo could have tell the truth. Ebo could have he telling the truth.
You have to do the work.
You gotta confess. Confess to yourself that you paid money to be trained and you did not make phone calls. Confess to yourself that you did not, my child. You did not do exactly what your mentor said, amen. Confess to your spouse that you just blew the money because you thought it was gonna get you to the promised land, the closing. Confess, my child. Real estate church going on right now. Jesus,
and I'm in the amen section.
Amen.
Like, amen.
You didn't do the work. God.
I said
the devil is a liar. The devil looking at you like, well, I do a lot of lying, but you lie. You would have told that man something I didn't even tell you to do.
So I told y'all, this is going to be informational as well as entertaining.
I can't tell you. The devil didn't even tell you not to make the phone call. You chose to do that. You blame it on the devil.
Right.
The devil said, well, I wanted you to make the phone call. It was something evil on the other end of that call. A closing. And you didn't even do it. You got to do the work. There's no way around it. God,
Absolutely.
Confess.
Hey, man, this is going to be
Then you hit me
right
with confess. I can go on that for 2 hours.
I know, right?
Confess, my child, to your non-real estate works and actions. Confess to your partner, your team that you're building.
Hey, listen, we laughing, but we so serious.
Absolutely.
You know, because and I really, I really want people to hone in what we're speaking on. Like, we were supposed to be talking about wholesaling, man.
Well, to get to wholesale, you got to confess.
You got to steal.
Is this really what you want to do? Is this really your lane? I saw it on TV for 99 cents. Why are you charging $10,000? I get it, my son.
And that's another thing. Like, let's talk about comparisons. People make comparisons to the different type of information or the different type of people that are offering information. And I'm gonna go here. I'm not gonna say the name, but there's one big conglomerate that comes into town after you see their ads and their commercials and all that, and you go for the weekend, you go for the 2-day or the 1-day free event, and the 2-day $300 event, and then the 5-day $2,500 event, and then you go to the whatever it is. I don't know how many.
Oh, you talking about the Pan Merrill event?
I didn't say what it was.
Pan Merrill, what Pan Merrill? That's my homeboy, Pan Merrill.
Then you invest $35,000 to $50,000. Now, and here's what I say to that. Now, because there has been a lot of talk, some people, have talked about investing all this money and not really getting anything out of it. To even that, I will say this, that what you invest in for a program like that, you have to be prepared to do the work. You got to be prepared to do the work. And for a program that huge, for what they give you, you got to have a team in place to be ready to do that. You can't, for the information you're paying for, you can't do it all by yourself. So to expect that there's going to be something that comes out of it just because you put $1 in, you should definitely expect $2 out. But in order to get the $2 out that you put in, there's that thing in the middle. It's called, what it starts with?
Work. Work.
What it is with?
Work. All we do is
work.
I want to jump into that. Check this out. I'm not even a big advocate of paying $50,000, but here goes perspective, right? For everybody that's listening, everybody that sells against that. Think about this. You go to college and you pay $120,000 for 4 years to be guaranteed to make maybe possibly $35,000 when you get out. If I told you instead of going to college, you pay $50,000 flat, right? Take a loan out, do whatever. You pay $50,000, but what I'm going to teach you is going to allow you're going to own it. You're not going to have any debt. You're going to own it, and you're going to be able to make $100,000 a year for the rest of your life. For the rest of you can go to any market, Vegas, Detroit, Chicago, New York, Florida. You can take what I'm about to teach you for $50,000 in 1 year. 1 year. You'll be able to make $100,000 a year for the rest of your life. Now, let's go to the college. Let's flip back to college. And again, I'm not even pushing you to pay the $50,000 for those events. But you got to look at life in perspective, right? Definitely. You're investing in something, even when you go to college, you're investing in $120,000 education to where you're guaranteed almost to make 30, 40, maybe 50 grand. You won't make six figures till you probably 10 years out. And then you got to keep in mind, you're old. Wait, company.
Hold on. You I don't want to cut you off.
Give it to me, Glenn.
But you killed him right there, though. Because you said you're going to start at 30.
Start at 30.
You're not going to get to the six figures till 10 years later.
To 10 years later.
What that means is there has to be some experience.
Woo!
My bad. Go ahead. You were saying.
Woo!
But you telling them though.
Okay, boom, right what he said. So you pay 50 grand, right? You take a loan, it's 50,000 for a trade that you're gonna learn and be able to work anywhere there's a house, land, multifamily, 25-year-old to pay $35,000 for. When you leave your job, how many of you guys have paid 120 grand, left your job, 120 grand in school, left your job at 40 years old, and you can't find work because you're either overqualified or you're too old because we got somebody that'll do it for less. And when you leave, you don't have anything but the skill set to do just IT. You could be the IT expert all you want, but unless somebody hires that IT expert, there's no work.
Right.
With real estate, there's always work, no matter how the market goes, up, down, left, right, rentals, wherever it may be. So you have to understand and put things in perspective and stop lying to yourself and listening to the wave of people saying, hey, that's too much money to be paying to learn that. It's less than your college education that you still ain't made enough money with.
I wanted to take somebody's mic last week and drop it on the floor. I think I need to do that for you too.
Man, drop the mic, drop the whole shirt.
But I mean, but like you said though, man, it's all about perspective. It's all about understanding the value of what you're getting. Like when you make an investment in education, I mean, just across the board, when you make an investment, if you're buying a book, if you're buying a book for $5, if you're buying an education for $50,000, it's all an investment, and that's education.
I agree.
That can't be taken from you.
Exactly.
And like you said, real estate information, if you learn the basics, if you just learn how to call a closing attorney and get them to schedule a closing, if you learn how to do that, that knowledge in and of itself is a part of what's going to be invaluable across the board.
Glenn, I got a young lady, Shalonda. Shalonda doesn't even know how to do real estate. All she does is schedule closings for attorneys remotely. She gets $150 to $250 for every closing she schedules. She gets an attorney, a new attorney, and she books an attorney 3 to 4 closings a day. They travel from office to office.
Wow.
And all she doesn't know how to do real estate. She doesn't know how to do it. All she does is book attorneys to go and do closings. She does it from her home. She can watch her daughter, and she on any given day would make $250 to $1,000 on any given day with multiple attorneys. And the attorneys travel.
Wow.
Glenn, they go to your office, close your deal. Oh, Ron got one at 2 o'clock over here at Steve's. She goes over there. Then she does 3 closings. The attorney make $1,500, $2,000 that day.
Wow.
That's a business alone.
Right. Check this though. And this is all about perspective again, as you mentioned. Now, in scheduling these closings, these attorneys know who she is, right?
Yep.
So that's a relationship that's being built,
Oh.
right? You get where I'm going?
Oh.
That's a relationship. So at any time when she decides that she may want to do a closing or she may want to do a deal, she can call up XYZ attorney and say, hey, listen, I got my own deal I need to do. How can I do this, that, or the other?
Absolutely. And they're giving her marketing dollars.
Yes.
They're giving her marketing dollars.
Yes.
They're like, hey, if we give you scheduled 6 closings with us last month, how can we help get that up? Because all it is phone calls.
Right.
You're able to be in touch. And keep in mind, she's not scheduling just double closings for wholesaling. She's scheduling all closings. Retail, commercial.
Right.
She's scheduling all closings. So that's a business alone. And at any given time, all she does is all from her phone.
Wow.
She don't need no computer. She don't need any documents. All she need to do is send the attorney, and now they got Cash App. Soon the attorney closes and get paid, Cash App.
That's it. Done deal. So how many of y'all want to learn how to do that?
just schedule closings all day. Oh my God.
So let's get into this. Let's get into that. Now we're gonna have to come back on this education thing.
Absolutely.
Because it's very important. And then we got to talk about the type of education that people are getting,
Yes.
which is also applicable to, all of what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this wholesaling thing, man. Now, what I wanted to kind of do, since we had that wholesaling situation, we'll call it that came up a few weeks ago.
Channel 2 or Channel 5?
One of them.
Channel 2, what Channel 5? Because I love Channel 5. Channel 2, I hope you're watching. Come see me, baby.
I wanted to get into the business of wholesaling. So this is kind of part 2. I think we did part 1 with Kendall Ficklin. I want to talk about the business of wholesaling and how it all applies in the world of real estate. What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on the situation that came up?
Oh, the situation that came up was beautiful. Shout out to Robin. Shout out to I love you. I love Channel 2. I love you. Appreciate it. You just did your job, right? And then it's funny because at the bottom of the announcement you said nothing here was done illegal. Kudos to you. Y'all play spades at Channel 2. Right? I get it. That was the ace of spades right there. So, shout out to the team, John, Mo. Hey.
What's up, John? John said what's
y'all,
good,
y'all already know what it is, John. You know what it is. So, real estate started with wholesaling. There was land. A landowner bought land, and he divided it and wholesaled the pieces of land to the Southerners, to whoever it may be. So real estate started with wholesaling. Before there was licensed agents or brokers or anything like that, and keep in mind my wife's a broker, before there was wholesaling. Wholesaling is the beginning and the end of every industry that we're in, not just real estate. Milk, Walmart. Walmart is a wholesaler.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Zillow and all, they're wholesalers.
Right.
It's information. So my take on it is, no one likes to see you win unless they're winning with you.
That's one way to look at
it. Yeah. No, they want.
Some people think in order for them to win, somebody got to lose.
We got to take somebody down. They're just wrong. Wholesaling is nothing new. Wholesaling was here before any of us on this broadcast, before we were born.
Yes,
my grandfather came down from New York. That's how he fed the family. Wholesaling properties, contracts, terms, and things like that.
Right.
So my take on it, one, again, thank you, Channel 2, for putting the information out there. We appreciate you. You guys, make sure you keep it up.
I'm going to give a bad example.
Yep.
You know who one of the biggest wholesalers is?
Who?
Our president.
Oh, my God. Oh, he's the king of wholesaling. Anybody that can own a building but not own a building, put their name on it. He does. You go to Trump Towers, there is nothing in Trump Towers that he owns besides his name on the building, and he gets a percentage.
Right.
You gotta love it. But again, my take on it is, it's an opportunity, if done right, for those to create an income for themselves, for their family, to allow them to do other things. Wholesale is not the end all be all. It's not the end all be all.
Right.
Wholesaling is merely the bottom level of the building before you go up to the high levels.
Yes.
Wholesaling is the mailroom of any business. Anybody that's wholesaling the right way right now will tell you that they started there, but they got about 3 other things that they're doing.
Right.
Wholesaling does not pay, for those of us that do it full time, it does not pay all the bills.
That's right.
Not one person on this line can tell me wholesaling just pays all their bills. And if that's the case, then you probably have set a low goal for yourself, because the consistency in wholesaling that it takes for it to pay all your bills is it's a lot of work, a lot of time, and it requires a lot of balancing, because money in lump sums is not wealth.
Right.
That's rich. You want wealth, you got to diversify.
Definitely.
You got to diversify.
Well, I will say this. Now, to give some perspective again, wholesaling can pay all your bills.
Yeah, if you live in a trailer home.
However, that in my opinion, as a real estate investor, as a real life real estate investor, wholesaling is not a long term plan.
Wealth, right?
That's the entry level. Like you said, everything starts with wholesaling.
It does.
Now some people have got into wholesaling and they built a business conglomerate with wholesaling. Now, of course, with that, there's other things that they do to maintain cash flow in those times where wholesaling is slow.
And teaching.
Well,
it's so crazy because every wholesaler I know, he wholesale for 2 years, now he training. If your wholesaler was in high school when the market crashed, if your teacher and trainer was in high school when the market crashed, or even in college, they're not certified. Tell them to come see me. Tell them I said it. Tell them I said it. Not Glenn, but me. Tell them I said it. If in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, you was graduating from high school or college, don't you call yourself trainer?
This is real life real estate investing.
Disrespectful. That's what you are, son. Confess. Confess.
These are the opinions that are saying real life real estate investing.
Confess.
But, I mean, listen. So, and here's where I will agree with that, because in many cases, if you have not experienced the whole spectrum that is real estate investing. Now, even now, wholesaling in itself is simple. In many cases, it's simple. It's a small piece of the business of real estate investing. But even in that, you have to have had experience across the board to be able to teach somebody that, first thing you should be teaching people is that real estate is hard.
It's hard.
You see what I mean? And if you never experienced the hard, you can't start there, because that's where you need to start. Most of my people, that's why that's how real life real estate investing became about, because a lot of the people that I were working with before thought that because they put $1 in, 30 was going to come out.
Exactly.
And there was nothing going to happen in the meantime.
Exactly.
There was not. I mean, shout out to my man Damian Palmer. He's going through it, but he's a trooper. He's talking about appliances being stolen. He's had people break in other houses, and that's something that
he's dealing with real life real estate.
Real life real estate.
Real life real estate.
And these are the things that they don't show you on TV all the time.
They don't.
So this is where, when you're teaching people how to do real estate, even in wholesaling, they don't tell you all the time. The people that are teaching, they don't tell you that when you show up to the closing and there's a title issue that came up at the last minute, so the closing has to be rescheduled, and it's a cloud, and all the family members didn't sign.
Do you even know how to read a HUD statement? Do you even know how to read a HUD statement? Because your attorney just charged you $500 extra for an early payoff fee.
Oh.
And your lender didn't even approve that. Your lender don't even know about that fee, because it's line item 508 on the second page. But the attorney charged you for an early payoff.
I was hit with a fee a couple weeks ago on the closing I did. I didn't even say nothing about it. $75 to do a resolution. Like, dude, I could have did that. I could have typed up the resolution.
Oh my God. $75 for resolution.
Hey, look, it's time sensitive. Let's get it done.
How much is a title examination fee? Anybody? Does anybody know? Tell wholesalers, how much is a title examination?
$350 some people pay for it.
$350. So what is a title examination?
Right. And see, that right there is something that people don't, when you don't have all of the pieces that go to the puzzle. And we're talking about teaching.
Yeah.
When you don't have all the pieces that go to the puzzle, it's kind of hard for you to say to somebody, yeah, you can get into this business with no money, no credit, and make a whole lot of money.
Absolutely.
That's what a lot of people teach.
Absolutely. What is a doc prep fee? How much is it costing me to prep the docs? And when you prep the docs, what am I prepping?
Are you just... Okay, look.
I prepped the docs. Who did that? Keisha prepped the docs this morning at home when she left.
And all it was copy and paste.
Oh, she did.
Anyway.
Doc prep fee $500, $1,000. You don't know the difference. That's why your attorney gets you on every closing.
Yes. Somebody said.
Hell is a doc prep fee. Who prepped my docs? Put her name on the hood.
Right.
I need to know who prepped the docs.
And highlight that for me.
Who the hell prepped the docs? Dan, did you prep the docs? No, you didn't do it? Okay.
Somebody asked if we could ask questions. Absolutely. This is an interactive show. For those of you that have questions, please go ahead and put your comments, questions, whatever it is. If you agree with what we're saying, you disagree, go ahead and put it in. We're going to kill it anyway. But we're going to talk about it is what I meant.
Yeah, keep it clean now.
So if you want to ask questions, definitely go ahead and put it there. Tim Harvey says, well, first of all, let me shout out the folks that are joining us. Thank you guys for joining us today. We got definitely the grind guy, John Stafford. We got Tim Harvey, Kimberly Coates.
Uncle Billy.
Shout out to Kimberly Coates. Got Uncle Bill with us.
Uncle Bill
with us. Thanks for watching. We got Charlotte Hudson.
Hey, Charlotte.
Charlotte going crazy in this wholesale game. Charlotte, you gotta come on. We gotta talk.
Charlotte know the doc prep fee is.
Right. Somebody says, how do you feel about wholesaling off the MLS? I want to talk about that. It's something I recently heard of. How do you feel about wholesaling off the MLS?
It works out great.
Yes.
It works out great.
Yes.
I actually shout out to Errol and his team because they send me quite a few deals that they get off the MLS. One of the things that people don't, and I'm going to give you a jewel right now, there are what they call expired listings. Mm-hmm. So a lot of you guys could skip trace those expired listings and get directly to the owners. Yeah. Another thing is most agents don't know what to list the property for. Mm-hmm. So the owner wants $70,000, but the agent will list it for $90,000 or $99,000. And you can come in with your numbers, and that owner will take that number, and the agent just wants to make their fee. I've even had instances where the owner wants $70,000, the agent listed it for $95,000. I offered $78,000. The agent came back to me and said, "Well, how do I make my money on that? Because I'm gonna make a small amount of money." I said, "You can put in a set fee for your time and your efforts." Mm. So she put in a set $2,000, and she was fine with negotiating the thing down to $70,000. Mm. So wholesaling off the MLS, just because it's listed doesn't mean you can't still wholesale the deal. But be transparent and let that agent know what you're doing.
Definitely, yeah. And definitely, you want to definitely be transparent to keep that relationship good. But that's the misconception. You gave a jewel, like you said. You gave definitely a jewel, because we hear off market. And then there's been things that have been taught that there are no good deals on the MLS, because if they were good deals, somebody else would have already bought them. I've been on the MLS, man, the last 3 days, and I'm going to share this. I found several good deals. Actually, a few I still got to make offers on. But what it is, it's all in your negotiating. Like you said, it's all in how you approach it. And if you approach it with, these are the numbers. Like you said, most agents don't know.
They don't know.
They get a listing because somebody sent them some information. They get a listing and they put it on, and they don't know what it can be listed at. So when you show them, hey, these are the numbers, and this is how this can work, and then you explain to them that you can put that set fee in. Because most of the time when they have it listed at $90,000 and you going to offer $75,000, they're like, that's cutting my.
Yeah, because they're basing everything off of their percentage, their 3%, right? Yeah. Agents make $3,000 for every $100,000, and they have to break that down with a broker. So it's actually a 6%, but you split that, right? But then your 3% goes back to your broker, and you got to have all these fees: FMLS fee, MLS fee, fee, right. key fee, she fee, the fee for your broker to get a new Benz fee, right. The fee to be in Buckhead fee, office fee. Yes, so that agent ends up going home with $800 on a deal, right? Mm-hmm. How do you make that deal more attractive for the agent to get you the number that you need on the deal? The agent knows that the homeowner only wants $70,000. You need to be at $75,000 on the deal. Why not tell the agent, hey, check this out. I need this house at $70,000, right? Out of that $70,000, I can get the owner, or we pay you $2,000. Write the contract up to $72,000. $2,000 in your special stipulations goes directly to you, your broker, your however you may be. Mm-hmm. Pay it through the brokerage or not. Y'all know how some of y'all agents do. I ain't gonna call no app, I ain't gonna say that. But that set fee. When you got an agent locked in at $2,000, whether that house sells for $100 or $70, they're locked in.
Yes,
they're locked in. So they're able to negotiate and get you the best price possible. Now, strategically, you need to be under the listed price if it's an area that's not as hot. If it's a hot area, you get it for $90, you can sell it for $100 maybe. Mm-hmm. But if it's in an area that's not as hot and it's listed for $90, you need to be up under with all fees for under that $90,000, because you got to know that people are going to call that agent and do their own research online.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Real talk, and that's where you get your deals from the MLS.
Yeah.
Okay, so when y'all sign up for our class,
pay Glenn right now $10,000.
Hey, let me give y'all a real life real estate investing cash app.
Wholesale live, baby. Let's go.
Right. But I mean, and that's the thing, that it's that type of information. Again, when you're talking about teaching, we're gonna put all this together. When you talk about teaching, what you just gave again is some information that doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? Like that type of information comes from experience. That type of information comes from doing it wrong, and then getting it done right.
Getting it done right.
You see what I mean?
That
if you haven't experienced what happened that was wrong, how can you teach through that process?
oh my God, man.
I'm gonna let you handle that.
Let me tell you something. If you have been wholesaling for 5 years or less, you do have the ability to teach the model.
Mm-hmm,
okay,
mm-hmm.
You are what I call a lead wholesale advisor.
Wow.
Lead wholesale advisor. You can take that and run with it. But as far as teaching real estate, don't you dare talk about teaching real estate because you've never been in a courtroom about multifamily, about deals, about being sued. Don't you dare, because how do you even protect somebody from those things if you've never been through them? So don't do that. Now, if you want to teach a model, if you want to put a group together, a team together, so you guys can make calls and do wholesaling, that's great. You are training and teaching on a model you know how. But don't say, I train on real estate, because you haven't done enough to even say that or call yourself that coaching or that mentor. Because there's a lot of baggage that comes with that.
Yes.
Okay? There's a lot of baggage.
Yes.
One of the things I'll tell you guys you don't do is that when you do your contract, why isn't there a line item that says earnest money due on the last day of due diligence? If earnest money does not appear, contract expires, the contract terminates. Every one of y'all wholesalers called me because you're scared about the earnest money. Send a contract over, put a date and a time on it, and it expires and terminates if the money don't show up. Period. So even with that I don't get. There's so many things.
That's a whole lot of game, right?
Yeah, I know. Look, everybody like, damn, my contract don't say that. See, my contract, I need to subscribe to this every week. I know you do. That's how you. So if you forget, if you want to close 5 deals a month consistently, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Are you about to tell them how to do that?
15. I'm gonna tell you how much you need to have.
Okay.
You need to have 15 deals in the pipeline under contract. 15 deals that make sense in the pipeline under contract. Not 15 houses you looked at. 15 deals in the pipeline under contract to close 5 deals consistently every month.
Man, you leading them up to the water. How many deals they got to look at to get 15 under
To
contract?
look at 15 deals, you need to skip trace probably about 150 to 250 deals a month.
Yes.
And you need to look at probably about 100 to 150 deals to get those 15 deals. Period. It's a numbers game. I ain't even talking about doing mailers. I ain't even got into that. You need to skip trace. Your minimum budget every month to run a consistent real estate business is $2,000 to $3,000 a month minimum.
Yes.
Minimum.
But you don't need money or credit to do that.
You don't need money or credit, right? Yeah, you don't need money or credit. Yeah, y'all. Everybody out there that's doing that one deal, I make $2,000. I can do this again next month, make another $2,000. Ooh, I'm feeding myself. No, what you have is a hustle.
Yes.
You have a hustle.
Yes, indeed.
If you want this to be a viable business, you have to conduct yourself. You have to go to meetings, 1 real estate meeting a week, 2 non-real estate meetings every week. You need to go to meetings where you are the subject matter expert. Go to meetings where the Omega Psi Phi guys will meet. Go to meetings where you walk in and they say, hey, I do this, I do real estate. Oh, you're the only person here that does real estate. Real estate is a universal language.
Yes.
There's no room, place you can go that people don't talk about real estate.
Definitely.
Real estate will bring everybody down to the playing field, from the president down to the person who's working at Walmart. Period.
I'm just going to say this. After I drop his mic again, that's the kind of knowledge, and that's the kind of knowledge that only comes from experience.
Absolutely.
That's the kind of knowledge that only comes from experience. I mean, you have to actually, like they say, you have to be in it to win it. And in order to get that type of knowledge, you have to have gone through and been to those rooms and been in those rooms and had those conversations and understand in order to understand how to apply what you learn. That's the major key. Is there's so much information that we get in business and real estate and whatever it is that's happening.
Absolutely.
There's so much information that we get, but what people need a coach specifically for is for the application.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, I've learned so many different things, but it's people that have to give you that nudge to say, hey, listen, I'm not here to motivate you, but I'm going to show you this is what you can do. This is what you can get if you do this.
I can't motivate you.
Right.
Motivation
Right,
comes from
right,
within.
right.
I can inspire you.
Yes.
But I can't motivate you.
Yes.
People say motivate. No, I can't. That comes from within.
Yeah.
Motivation is related to self-esteem.
Definitely.
That's related to self-esteem. Motivation is related directly to self-esteem. That comes from within. And whatever, if it ain't in you, it won't come out you.
Man. Boy, listen, Daddy, I'm gonna drop that cash app, real life real estate as a cash app for real, because you're giving some major stuff, man, and I want people to learn how to apply the things that you're offering, the information that you're sharing today, because it's so many, we'll call them GURUs, the gurus that teach on investing in real estate. Like I said a couple days ago, they teach people how to make money, but they don't teach people how to keep money. They give people information, but they don't teach them how to apply that information. And oftentimes, that's where the disconnect happens. And when people get all this information, and they think just because they have it, those students that pay that money, they get all this information, they think just because they have the information, that's supposed to turn into dollars in the bank account.
Applied
without
knowledge,
doing anything.
applied information and applied knowledge, Glenn, is the secret sauce.
Absolutely.
Applied. You got all the information. Let me tell you guys something. If you want to learn how to wholesale, go to Google and put in learn wholesale.
That's it.
You'll probably spend $20 on books and some online. Mm-hmm. You go to YouTube and put in wholesaling. You can spend a week of looking at YouTube and learn how to wholesale.
Right.
Now, the details in between, that's what you need to invest in.
Yes.
The consistency. It's so funny because no matter how much information we all give, you still don't want to do the work. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. That's why we can keep selling the same information over and over. Over and over. Because what's in you can't be taught. It can't be taught. And it can't be bought. So you want to buy your success. You want to put money into something. And what's crazy is there's a lot of you all that invested in education and you gave up. Mm. You could have actually went back to the person and said, hey, I feel like I didn't get what I needed. Mm. Can we continue this? There is no teacher, trainer, mentor, guru person that doesn't want a student who wants to continue the education of learning how to make us money. Mm. There's no one. Anybody that's ever paid me, you can always come back to me. You can always check in with me. You can always say, hey, I got a deal. I need to use me. Use me. People don't do it, though. They just give up because it's easier to give up, complain, Twitter finger, Twitter bully, social media bully, than it is for you to actually sit down and learn and say, where did we go wrong? What can we do? Glenn, help me. Glenn, I paid you $10,000, $20,000. I didn't get what I thought I was going to get. But Glenn, can you continue to just work with me? And what's Glenn going to say? Yes. I wish I had more people like you that saw it that way.
Bruh, I got about 5 students. And, because you put it out there. Let me go ahead and speak on it.
Let's get to speak on it.
I got about 5 students that I emailed them regularly. Like, hey, what's going on? What you doing? I want to get your success story. You see what I mean? That's, my marketing coach taught me about getting success stories. So I'm like, I want to get your success story. What are you doing with the information that I've given you? I get no response. I go to text them. Just tell me what's going on. What can we do to get you to getting some deals closed? Here, I put a post out there, and I'm going to speak on this. I put a post out there a couple days ago that said, what's keeping you from getting your first deal done? I listed the thing. Is it cash? Is it credit? Is it knowledge? Is it something else? Or is it all of the above? I think I got about a few people that follow me. I'm connected with a few people on social media. And out of all these people, we're talking thousands. I think I probably got 3 or 4 responses. Now, I mean, and I
know what it is.
Most of these people are in real estate. A lot of these people I'm connected with are in real estate. But a lot of them are just even wanting to know how to get their first deal done. You can't say, if you can't list, well, maybe you don't want people to know that you haven't done your first deal. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. But that's where you inbox me. Because I'm putting a feeler out there because I'm offering something. Right. I told you I was inspired by what the grind guy said the other day.
Shout out to John.
John said the other day he wants to help people. I want to help you. It doesn't always have to be, you got to invest in it somehow or another, but it doesn't always have to be an upfront cost. But I want to see, I'm kind of trying to do some market research, if you will. What is keeping people from getting their first deal done, or what's keeping them from even attempting to do a deal? you know, a lot of times they have all this information, but they don't have the first step that they need to take in applying that information.
It's like to me, it's like that kid that gets in trouble at school, and everybody say go home and look, see the parents, and you can find out why the kid is getting in trouble.
Yeah, man.
If you look at anybody, they present to themselves one way, like they're ready to do something, but their work ethic, their morals are piss poor, and they are trying to present themselves as if they don't have all this baggage behind them.
Yes.
As if they don't have all these problems behind. Let me tell you something. The way, what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And with that being said, you have to understand that life is going to continue to happen, go, and evolve. Money does not, there's a lot of things that money cannot fix. And everybody is using money as the main focus. True enough, that's one that piques our attention, the money side. But you have to also have a reason. You have to have a reason. When I started in real estate, money was the first priority. I made a lot of money as the first priority. I was able to relate to my maker once I started putting people first. Once I started going people before money, I started seeing a different angle. So I would say put people first and make sure that everybody wins before you win, and I guarantee you'll win.
You know, man, you dropping some major stuff today, bruh. Look, I don't know how we gonna end this show, man. We gonna have to do something. We gotta probably dance off the stage and stuff. All that.
Man, it's gonna be good stuff. Tune in, tag somebody. See, look at y'all on the show right now, not even tagging nobody. You're holding all this information to yourself. Tag somebody. Share the video. Share the wealth. Y'all even you watching the video like, man, this is so good. Keisha, man, asking you all week about getting in real estate, and you ain't even tagged her yet. You're doing exactly what we're talking about. You ain't even tagged her yet. You got people around you, but you don't want to let nobody in on the people you know or the resources that you have because I want to figure it out myself. That's the worst thing in the world I hear people say. Man. I wanted to do it first myself to see if it was going to work before I bring anybody else on. But it's so crazy, you would keep referring people to your college. You still owe the college $120,000. Girl, you need to go to the university, girl. Go to the university, girl.
School I went to.
School I went to, girl. Go Badgers. I owe them $120,000, but go.
Yeah, it's something else. Charlotte said, God put everything we need to be successful in all of us. So it's a blessing when someone special or connected to another helps to birth it out of them on purpose. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
I'm gonna ask this question again for those of you that are watching. You know, we got quite a few people online with us that are watching. If you have not done your first deal, what is keeping you from getting your first deal done? Is it cash? Is it credit? Is it knowledge?
Work ethic.
Well, that definitely should be one.
And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say my work ethic is not there. I need reminders.
Yes.
I need you to check in with me. That's what I need. That's okay.
Man, that's what I need. I might have to. You're gonna have to be a check in with me.
Yeah, I get to check in. I need somebody to check in to do a check in.
You know, and it's like you said, it's okay to admit it. You know, I know what my weaknesses are. You know what I mean? Like I should be doing a whole lot more than I am, but you know, I'm getting a little stuff done here and there. But I mean, it's so much, you know, information out here for people. I mean, especially in the business of real estate, because it's not easy. And another thing, they don't understand that if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Absolutely.
You know, but what is it about the people that even venture to say that they're going to try the possibility, and they don't even take the first step? Rashawn says, I didn't know how to get owners' phone numbers. Do you know how to do that now?
Yeah.
I want to make sure we can help you with that. Don't know about JVing with someone who had knowledge and resources I didn't. Do you know how to do that now?
Yeah. I would say, just to kind of touch on those, find an organization that does the things that you need help with, okay? There's affordable help, so to speak. There's affordable help. These organizations like Wholesale Live, you know, you got John with everybody, you got Glenn. There's organizations in place that will allow you to help, you know, contribute to the overhead.
I think Wholesale Live is perfect for the questions that she's asking.
Yeah. With Wholesale Live, we pull about 2,000 to 2,500 leads a month, and we allow individuals to come in and help us call those leads and make 20% on each deal. Every deal. We've had people come in and on their first day make a phone call and make $2,000, okay?
Y'all have people that send text messages.
We have send text messages. Most of our closings this year have been off text. People texting us back. We called twice, text once on every phone number. Jules, okay? Kind of the process. I ain't gonna give y'all too much, but we got a system in place. We have a color code system where we follow up. One lead to get a call from us 3 times in 1 week. With the system we have in Wholesale Live, one lead will get a phone call from us 3 times in 1 week.
It's the follow up.
It's the follow up.
It's the follow up.
It's the follow up.
If I was having to tell people about what the major thing about doing what we do, it's the follow up. Stupid.
The money is in the follow up. The money is in the follow up.
The money is in the list, but the fortune is in the follow up.
The fortune is in the follow up. Write that down. My team take that. We're gonna trademark that. He said something. I'm stealing If it sounds good to me, I'm taking it.
I'm stealing everything. So
give it to me. Take it to me.
So let's talk about this business of wholesaling, and I want to kind of go back to that again. We touched on the situation that came up.
Yep.
I think, and we're actually supposed to be having a conversation. I believe it's on the 17th about how we're all coming together, and people are talking about how we work together. Can you kind of break it down, like how the process of why wholesaling, we'll say wholesaling specifically, is a good beginning point for how real estate agents can work together, attorneys, contractors, everybody that touches a real estate deal. How does wholesaling help with bringing all that together, and how, if anything, can we work together in real estate, as a conglomerate instead of everybody against each other?
So let's break it down. So this right here, I'm gonna try to touch on all points. The first thing to do before you get into business and the thing in life is how many people can make money off of the services that you provide. How many families can you feed off the services that you provide? The first thing is we make a phone call, right? We make a phone call. You got to have a phone. The phone company makes money off that. We got to skip trace a list. Whoever's doing the skip tracing software, they get paid, so they make money out you feeding that family. The organization that you're making the phone calls with, you're paying that organization to teach and train you, so you feed that family, all right? Then you call the young lady who actually owns the house. She needs money to pay off the house and to move on, so you feed that family. The appraiser comes out, you feed that family. The inspector comes out, you feed that family. The hard money lender and the doc fee processor, you feed those families. The attorney, the agent, the contractor, the subcontractors, all those families eat off of one deal. About 30 families, not 30 people, about 30 families eat off of one deal. The supplier who brings the lumber, Home Depot, everybody eats off that one transaction. So I'm trying to figure out, how could we ever talk bad about something that strengthens families in this economy to eat? If we did not sell houses to buyers who got guys to renovate so that contractor can feed his family. Keep in mind, that contractor who may have went to school or didn't go to school but has a trade, he's not able to feed his family. The more subs I call, the more families eat, okay? Somewhere in the line, maybe somebody felt like they didn't get paid what they thought they should get paid, but the bigger picture is we just fed the hungry. Everybody that wants to eat has been fed on this one deal. So when we bring all that together, the attorney has a paralegal who prepares everything. The appraiser, he has to be called out. If nobody's closing deals, nobody calls him out. Then on the back end, there's another appraiser. On the back end, there's another inspector, 2 inspectors, 2 appraisers, 2 subcontractors. There's so many people that come together in this one transaction. And then keep in mind, that's the entire spectrum. You want to be a part of this transaction, you need to begin and end with a real estate agent. I'm saying it. Even if you're a wholesaler, you need to have a relationship with a real estate agent on the beginning and the end of the transaction. You cannot just get properties on the front end and expect to sell it, and you don't know how the back end works. You have to understand the process. My wife and I looked at buying a franchise, right? One of the requirements for the franchise is that you have to come to the corporate office and train. I don't care how much money you have.
Yes.
You have to come to our corporate office and learn how to make the hamburgers. You have to learn how to make them. I'm a millionaire. I'm a billionaire. Why do I need to do that? Because we need you to understand the value in your business that you're about to invest in. We're giving you a part of a business that you need to understand how it works. So you need to understand how to get the contract, skip trace the lead, follow up, resell the contract, understand what the budget is going to be. So when you talk to the buyer for it, you can give them a synopsis or a scheme of how this works. You have to understand the entire business, and no one piece should be left out of the business.
And I'm gonna have to get a bell on this show, man. When nuggets are being dropped, I'm gonna have to bang.
Yeah, I agree.
Listen, I'm gonna take it a little further though.
Go with it.
We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about generational wealth partners.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about generational wealth.
Yes.
You talk about a transaction from the time this house has been sitting, leaning. Nobody's paid attention to it for 10 years. It's just sitting there, and it needs all this renovation. It's a house that's been sitting there for 10 years, right? You get that house back to its livable condition. After all those people have ate on the front end, right? Now it's a family that moves in that house. It's a family that has to maintain that house. The grass needs to be cut. So off that wholesaler getting that deal back to life, you got a landscaper that's now getting the grass. You got electricity that the bill's being paid. So it's people that work at the electricity company.
Georgia Power eating on the deal.
Right. You got the taxes that probably weren't being paid. You bring a revenue back into the city. You see what I mean?
Ooh.
So, and not to mention the family that lives in that house, that it will eventually leave that house to their children and their children's children. We're talking about generational wealth.
Generational wealth, God.
Where a property that was sitting dormant, that nobody probably even wanted to do anything with. Now you got a wholesaler that's going and trying to find out who owns the property, how to skip trace it, how to get it under contract, how to get it sold.
So the wholesaler is the mustard seed.
Man.
So the wholesaler is the mustard seed.
Because who else was thinking about that house?
That house has been abandoned.
Right.
Nobody called it. Nobody skip traced
it.
I'm 100% sure that when real estate agents drive around, abandoned houses are the last priority on their list.
Right.
Because they have been trained to look for listings.
Yes.
They want to look for listings. You list to last. When they see a record, when we see a house that's been abandoned 10 years is good. If it's 10 years, then we win it.
Right.
We're looking at houses that were built in 1958 and they've been vacant for 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
And it's tearing the comps down. It's tearing the community down. The value's been brought down. Kids are being are going through the house. It's so many. We as wholesalers or as entrepreneurs in real estate, we see a different vision for that house. That house is 5 degrees from the agent. And I'm not taking anything away from agents, but you got to realize that when agents drive around, they're not driving for dollars with abandoned houses. They're not being taught to skip trace people. They're being taught to go directly to the person, get a listing or get a referral. Right. All agents, the first thing they will ask you is referrals. Can you give me a referral? The best thing you can do for me is give me a referral. We don't ask for referrals. We create them. We create referrals. We create business. And you're trying to tell me that should be limited? Somebody who creates something out of thin air. We go and find a property that's been abandoned for 40 years, maybe no taxes on it. We find a buyer and a seller. We put them in the same room, and you telling me you got to cap that price? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
You hit on that one.
The most important part of that transaction is the person who put the buyer and the seller in the same room and got a deal closed so that 30 people can eat off this one deal.
Absolutely.
30 people will eat off this one deal, all because this 18, 19, 21-year-old kid was driving around in his old beat-up car, saw a vacant property with bombs staying inside of it, smelling bad, a hazard to the community, no taxes going back into the county, and he went and found the seller and got it sold to a end buyer who renovated it and put a family in it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Man, all right, we got another question. You dropping bombs over here, bro. You dropping bombs over here. Somebody said, advice for agents who are transitioning to wholesaling.
There is no, I would say, it's not a transition. What you're doing is you're adding a leg to your business. There's no transition because you as an agent, your value, you already have a foundation of understanding how real estate works. So what you're doing is you're adding a leg to your marketing platform.
Yes.
Working with every agent should have 3 to 5 wholesalers that they communicate with weekly about deals. It's so funny because agents and brokers who are out selling $1 million properties, they've already figured this out. They have wholesalers who send them properties, send them listings all the time. I know agents who always get, if a wholesaler can't make the deal work, guess what? They got the information directly to the owner, pass it to an agent. The agent can call and follow up with them and get a listing. My 17-year-old son came to the office and made phone calls and got a listing appointment for his mother at $1.2 million. His first day.
Wow.
His first day. Get out of here, man. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Tim Harvey said, wait and say it, Ron.
That's it. You got it. Working for one common goal is where we're all going. There should be a weekly meeting for wholesalers hosted by an agent or a broker.
Man.
There should be a weekly meeting for wholesalers to come out and meet with agents and brokers every week, and they're leading the meeting. Every office, Keller Williams, all these offices have conference rooms, 2 or 3 conference rooms. We don't need no donuts. We don't need no coffee. We don't need none of that. We just want to collaborate and talk to you as an agent, as a wholesaler, and give you market knowledge the same way and transfer it back. We don't even want nothing. Let y'all tell it. We make 30 grand on every deal.
Wow.
We make 20 and 30 grand on every deal. You think we need some coffee, donuts, or Chick-fil-A? We don't need none of that. We just want to show y'all that, hey, we can do even more together.
Man, hey, listen, for brokers and agents and I see a few of y'all on here, that's a call to arms. I mean, for your brokerage to even spearhead something like that, to bring wholesalers to your brokerage, if nothing else, and here I'll add this to it. If nothing else, if you are a broker or you work for a brokerage that is not even entertaining wholesaling, your brokerage should at least entertain it for the possibility of adding that as an additional arm to what you're doing. And I'm sure guys like myself or Ron wouldn't mind coming out and educating those agents and brokers on how to, every week. On how
free.
to work with wholesalers.
For free.
Definitely.
Free. We don't need anything. Again, let you tell it. We make 20 grand on each deal. So we do it for free. But what brokerage? Now, my wife has a brokerage, the Real Estate Resource Group, right? She get calls from agents who want to do wholesaling deals, but their brokerage don't know how to structure the deal. And it's funny because she just went to school to be a broker a couple of months ago, and in her training, in her class to get the hours, they talked about it. They talked about it being very legal. They talked about how to do it. They talked about the best way. So now my wife, shout out to my wife, she has the Real Estate Resource Group, and she's really working with mainly investors. She wants agents who want to be investor-friendly agents. Investor-friendly agents. Real Estate Resource Group. See, her weekly meeting, she don't have to have a weekly meeting because we have GWP, we have Wholesale Live.
Right.
So she's the broker, the sister brokerage to Wholesale Live. There's no tie-in. We don't send her leads or do anything like that. We refer leads. If we get someone, we refer leads over to them. But even just being a part of her brokerage, an agent can get leads from us just being a part of the brokerage.
Wow. Huge stuff. Charlotte says, hit her up. She'll put something together. I'm gonna hold you to that, Charlotte. Actually, let's talk. I wanna talk to you about some things, especially about being on the show as well. So Rashawn says she's with it. Good stuff. So man, listen, this is She says, nice, Ron. This is actually, man. We touched on a whole lot of.
Oh man, you knew it was gonna be sexy, boy. Ron D, you knew it was gonna be sexy. Anybody that knows me, you either love me or hate me.
Hey.
Hope you love me, baby. Love me.
Hey, look, and the haters just the ones that'll motivate you anyway, so it's all good.
I need more haters.
Right, need more haters.
Need more haters. Please repost this and say he all those things. And I'm gonna say, girl, he is girl.
Hey man, so we got on today, man. Well, okay, let's go back into this educational piece, man. You know, we coming up on time, but I want to go back to this educational piece because you gave a lot of great information, and that's what this show is, man. This is a resource show. We offer people a lot of different resources, a lot of different opportunities and education and things like that. Let's go back to talk about what does Generational Wealth Partners do? What is that, and what?
Absolutely, absolutely. Glenn, I appreciate that.
Definitely.
Because my team will respect the fact that I did stay on topic with some things that we got going on. So Generational Wealth Partners is mainly a resource for first-time investors to come in and do their first buy and hold, their first flip, or even their first multifamily. We have a bank that we work exclusively with, which is Lafayette Lending. You can go directly to Lafayette Lending and talk to them directly, but we do have an inside person. So a lot of the things, the fees and things are a little bit less when working with us because we set an expectation, and one of the things we do is we pay for your appraisal, okay, and inspection. So we focus on creating wealth by helping individuals leverage our experience. Our flips ourselves, we partner up with our investors, so we're not competing directly with you, okay? One of the things that we really focus on in 2020 is the multifamily, multiple doors, duplexes, quads, whatever it may be, and using the lump sum that they're getting from flipping houses to invest in the generational wealth of doors. You need to have multiple doors to create a retirement plan for yourself. If you don't create your own retirement plan, who will? You cannot expect anybody else to do it. Now, under Generational Wealth Partners, we have Wholesale Live. Wholesale Live is merely a way for individuals who don't have the experience or the income to come in and create income for themselves so that they can build up to doing their first flip, or building up enough money so you can hire Glenn, or just getting into real estate and learning. We now have an 8-week curriculum. So when you come in to Wholesale Live, we have a weekly curriculum while you're lead generating, learning how to do contracts and things of that nature. Month to month, we have Sip and Flip. Sip and Flip is a premier real estate networking event hosted by the Real Estate Resource Group, which is my lovely wife. Shout out to my wife. As y'all can see, I'm married now for those. So all you women that try to holler at me, it's there now. But don't text me. She got my social media too.
Shout out to the wife.
Shout out to the wife. She got all my social media. Just letting y'all know all that stuff y'all be sending. She see all that. Don't send me no more text messages, Kiki. We don't date no more. Nah, she meant that to me. But the main thing is, and now one thing that we've implemented that I'm very excited about is that I now have the team, the LAG team, which is on the lead advisement group. So I have a team of individuals who do nothing but analyze properties all day, every day for anyone. Every Wednesday they meet. They analyze properties every day, but every Wednesday you can come to the office in the West End, 825 Beecher Street, and you can get properties evaluated that you need help with. Because one of the things we found out, Glenn, is that people are driving for dollars and they're finding properties, but nobody knows how to evaluate the deal. Is it a good deal or a bad deal or whatever it may be? And with Wholesale Live, the LAG team, who's part of Wholesale Live as well, shout out to John, where everybody eats, the back office of Wholesale Live. We are analyzing deals because I swear, Glenn, every meeting we go to, we meet 5 or 10 people that say, I got a deal.
Right.
I got a deal.
Right.
I got a deal. And in all honesty, when you come to Glenn and I or John or Mo and you say you got a deal, we don't get excited off the top.
Because it's a lead first.
It's a lead first. Jesus, he just said something. Give him the glory. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. So do not call it a deal.
Right, it's just a lead.
It's a lead. I have a lead.
Listen. I gotta give one more shout out to the person that I stole that from. Shout out to Mr. Tycoon. I stole that from him a few years ago. I told you I was gonna give you credit the first time, but the rest of the time is mine.
It's mine.
That's the last shout out you get for that.
Tycoon.
Right.
So it's a lead. So now when you tell people you have a house, say, hey man, I got a lead on a house.
Lead. Yeah.
I would respect you more if you say, I got a lead on a house.
Yeah.
I got a lead.
Yeah.
Now when you say I got a lead on a house, we're gonna ask a couple questions, about 5 questions. Where is it at? Are you direct with the seller? Can we get inside of it? What are they asking for it? When can we look at it? Boom. We're going to come right at you with that. If you don't have one or none of those answered, what are we doing?
Right.
And then you get upset because I move on to the next person. Brother, I got to move on to the next person.
Right.
Brother, you don't have all the information,
Right.
brother.
Right.
My brother, you are still at the altar.
It ain't even a lead yet.
It ain't even a lead yet. It's some information.
Right.
It's a idea.
Idea.
It's a written down address. Amen. It is nothing. There is no favor in it. You are nothing with this information to me right now. Stop it, I say. Key Jesus. Save him, Jesus. Heal his not knowing mind. Because he thought he came to Atlantaria and he was like, and he get off that panel, I'm going to tell him I got a house.
All right, you're going to be Pastor Ron after you leave.
Boy, this is the real estate gospel. This is the real estate gospel. Shout out to Kenneth Igwe for that. Kenneth gave me that. The real estate, it's the real estate gospel.
Real estate gospel.
My brother, Jesus. Pastor Closing is coming soon. I'm going to do a whole video on Pastor Closing. Pastor Closing, Ebo, save him, Lord. He know not what he said,
man.
Lord. He came to the altar with a lead.
So that, I guess that the guest of Pastor Closing is going to be what Kevin Jefferson calls to be Bishop FICO.
Bishop FICO. Bishop FICO. Pastor Closing. Bishop FICO.
Bishop FICO. Yeah, we got to take that show on the road, bro.
We're going to have the devil. He's going to play a part. He's called debt.
Debt.
He's called not doing. Devil debt. Not doing.
What's his other name is Broke.
Broke. He got, man, we gonna have a whole show. We got some funny real estate company coming to y'all soon.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So speaking of Bishop FICO.
What, the FICO?
So Kevin Jefferson start calling me Bishop FICO because, of course I help people with their credit and I help them get funding and things like that. So I started this program called FICO into a Fortune.
FICO into a Fortune.
Yeah, where I show people how to use their credit to get started investing in real estate. So speaking on that, we still looking for credit partners. For those of you that have decent credit, 680 and above, verifiable income, we're looking for credit partners. So Bishop FICO is going to take you to the promised land of getting you into the world of real life real estate investing. I'm not going to show you how to. I can show you how to get deal or do real estate with no money, no credit. But I'm going to show you how to make a lifestyle out of it if you get money and credit. If you don't have good credit, don't worry about that. We can help you with that as well.
Do everything the opposite of what Dave Ramsey said.
Oh.
Do everything now. I like Dave. I like Dave. I think Dave. I like Dave.
I don't think he teaches real world perspective from an entrepreneur.
From an entrepreneur, I don't think he teaches real world perspective. I think what Dave talks about. And yes, I have no problem. Like they want to come see me. I have no problem. As soon as they send me a piece of paperwork in the mail, I'm gonna send them a piece back, and then we're gonna have a meeting. Like it's just that simple. Come see me. But I think Dave. One thing I like about Dave Ramsey is that he is perspective of where you need to start. Mm-hmm. He's perspective on where you need to start. If you're making $5,000 a month, you can't afford more than $1,000 car. Mm. You need to buy a car for $1,000. But in order for you to grow, you have to grow your bottom line. And unfortunately, we live in a country that does gauge us on credit scores and things of that nature. Yes. Now, if you can create a business model that creates you cash, wink, wink, a business model that creates you cash, you can then grow your bottom cash line to buy your house, buy your car, buy things cash. But most of the world does not possess that ability.
That's real.
So with that, you have to find out what your lane is. And if you know that you're good with math and you're very good with paying bills and credit, keeping up with your credit, then that is a hustle. The credit can be a hustle.
Right.
Credit can be rebuilt, torn down, rebuilt again, all over again, up and down. That's the beauty of it. So you can use the FICO score to get things, get rid of things, whatever it may be. I know personally, I've done stuff on my credit I know I did, and I disputed it. I know I have. I'm using it against y'all. Y'all created this. Y'all wanted this model.
You got to report it right, though.
You got to report it right, though.
Yeah.
Don't spell my name with don't spell the name wrong. Don't get the wrong address.
Right.
I didn't do it. Scanner send you a bill and they got the wrong name. I didn't do it.
Don't get a penny off. And speaking of FICO, man, you just made me think of something. I was talking to the people on the phone about my insurance yesterday, my car insurance. We just been paying the insurance, not even thinking like, man, we're paying way too much.
Right.
The lady told me, she said we have a standard and then we have some other kind of program.
A standard that we got for you insurance.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So basically, she said we were in the standard as opposed to the premium. I'm gonna call it the premium. I don't remember what it was. She said, yeah, you guys are in the standard program, blah blah blah. I said, well, why are we in the standard program? She said, well, it's based on driving record, this and that, and credit score, and this, that, and the other. I said, wait a minute. Okay, my wife, we'll put her out there. My wife had an accident a few years ago.
Shout out to the wife.
Shout
you
out
okay?
To the wife. She's good. She's good. So that's why our premium went up at that time. But since then, that's no longer on her record. And so she said, well, let me make a call and find out why you guys are paying a higher premium. And she called me back and said, well, based on your credit score is what she started with. I'm like, okay, let's get this right. She said, and because of the things are no longer on her driving record, your insurance should be $200 less on a monthly basis than what you've been paying. I said, you're damn right.
Yeah, I agree with you. The devil is a lie.
Right. Check that credit score again, because I guess, the other thing I found out is that they randomly check your credit. So here's another thing. Pay attention. Your insurance company that you have to have is randomly checking your credit to see where it is to know whether or not they're going to charge you more for your insurance or less. And I guess some time ago they randomly checked my credit, and and because of the credit was good, but the accident is what put us in the higher premium. But because they checked it again, and the credit is good, and the accident is gone, we're going to be paying a lot less for insurance.
My insurance company does that. That's why my insurance change every month, because my credit change every month.
Yeah, mine too.
They like, this month you owe $99.
Right.
Next month it's $900.
Right.
You done let some stuff hit your credit. $900 is back to $99.
Yeah, mine change every month too. Backs out them credit cards, pay them off one day. Backs them out again, pay them off again one day.
Boy, I got one credit card for $250, and I can't pay it on time. I'm telling y'all real stuff.
Hey, look, I forget too, man.
I can't pay it on time. I put it on auto pay, and I still can't pay it on time.
And the thing is, I got a credit card that I pay bills on auto pay, so I forget the bills. Like, they're smaller bills. I forget the bills that I paid, so I forget to pay the credit card sometimes.
This is facts. And don't let one of them cards get lost and you have to do all that all over again.
Right.
Auto pay on 10 different things, boy. I tell you, boy, it's boy. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, but listen, what time? I don't even know what time we is.
What time is it? 1:22. Y'all still tuned in? Tag somebody. This has been funny. This has been good right here. We said some good, bad, good, great stuff.
Great stuff. Listen, man, anything you want to share with the folks, man, before we get off?
What I want to tell you all is that keep pushing, right? Get with someone today. It is about to be 2020.
Yes.
It's about to be 2020.
Yes.
Vision. Create your vision board, put it in front of you. Execute. If you got your last, I'll tell you right now, if you got your last $10,000 and you want to invest in real estate or you want to learn real estate, find someone to invest it into that's going to help you maximize that, because money sitting is dwindling away. Right. That's the one thing that millionaires and billionaires know, that if their money is sitting, there's no such thing as saving.
Man.
There's no such thing as saving. I'm going to be honest with you, I do not have a savings account. I don't have a savings account. I got things that I've invested in that makes money every month, but I don't have a savings account, because what am I saving? Like, I can't take it with me. This is just my perspective. I want to put that money into a multifamily, into something that just makes my family money or pays out money every month. That's the savings account. It makes money. So get with someone like Glenn. Get with someone like myself. John, even Errol, get with Young Bucks Nation,
Yes.
get with someone that can point you in the right direction. You every year, you should spend maybe a third or half of what a college education would cost you every year.
Education, yes.
Education.
Yes.
If a college education is $30,000 a semester, not even a year, it's a semester, I think, or maybe I'm not sure. I didn't go to college, but if it's
I don't know either.
if it's $15,000, you should be spending $7,500 a year on education, not worrying if you're gonna lose the money or not.
Right.
You should be spending $7,500 a year, $10,000 a year, because you're gonna learn a trade and you're gonna learn one jewel or one thing that's gonna help you multiply that times 10, and that's what you're investing in. Your trade, yourself. You invested $30,000 a year in college, and you still haven't made that money back yet.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You know, you said something too, man. Hey, Robert Yancey and Angela Davenport just joined us. Thank y'all for tuning in. I want to say this, man. And this is what I'm gonna leave y'all with. But you said something that really, made me think. My mentor, one of my mentors, shout out to Markwell Russell, talked about on one of our coaching calls. He talked about how he invests in. And I don't want to specify things that he invests in, but he invests in coaches. He teaches people how to get paid for coaching. So he invests in coaches himself, and he said that he doesn't even think about what it's costing. He think about the return that he gets. And what that made me think about is all the time when we talk about how much money, we write our goals out for the amount of money that we're going to make for the year. But we don't always specify the things that we're going to invest in to get us to make that dollar amount. So my goal for 2020 is to invest. I have a substantial income goal, and I plan to invest at least, as you said, at least a third in education to get the income goal that I reach. Now that's a high number. Mm-hmm. Like if I, you should probably expect to get at least a 10 times return. You know what I mean? But at minimum, I'll say this: if I expect to make, we'll say, $300,000 to $500,000 in a year, I should be planning to spend maybe $100,000 to $150,000 in education, absolutely, in coaching, because you look at the return on investment. If you had not made the investment, facts, what would you have earned?
Facts.
You see what I mean?
I agree. I mean, for anyone on this live right now would pay $10,000, $20,000, even $50,000 to be in a room with Warren Buffett for an hour.
Yes.
Okay? You'll pay
15 minutes.
For 15 minutes. $50,000 to be in a room with Warren Buffett for 15 minutes, right? How do you think Warren Buffett got to that? How do you think he got to the status? He invested in his education, his coaching, and his mentorship to get to that value. Who coaches Warren Buffett? Wow. Warren Buffett has a mentor and a coach. Who coaches and mentors Warren Buffett? Nobody ever asked that question.
Right.
The first question I will ask Warren Buffett is, who do you go to when you don't know what to do? Nobody asked that question.
That's major stuff right there.
Everybody looks at Warren Buffett like he is the god of everything. There's people that have more money than Warren Buffett.
Yes.
There's people that's been doing this shorter time that has more money than Warren Buffett. Do you all know that Warren Buffett actually consults with Mark Zuckerberg? Did you know Mark Zuckerberg is a third of his age, maybe.
Right.
But Warren sits down. You know why? Because he has a degree in not knowing. He knows that if he wants to be forward moving, he needs to talk to the individuals who are on the spectrum.
Wait a minute, hold on. Tell it. See, we can't even end the show, man. What's that degree in again? He has a degree.
He has a degree in not knowing.
Oh my goodness! Tell folks what that is, man.
A degree in not knowing is Mayweather is a teacher.
Yes.
Floyd Mayweather is a teacher at the University of Not Knowing. Because as long as you got that degree in not knowing, you're always coming to people saying, I don't know.
Yes.
Tell me how. And then people divulge information. I don't know. I got a degree in not knowing. That's why Floyd Mayweather is one of the smartest people. You think that he's slow because he can't read? What he can do is talk about how he doesn't know.
Right.
And he gets people around him that do know.
Man.
Warren Buffett has a degree in not knowing.
Major.
You got to get that degree. Once you get that degree, everybody around you who do knows will teach you everything. Warren Buffett has no idea about how to operate Facebook.
Right.
But I got a degree in not knowing, so the fact that I don't know and this thing is making money, let's put some money over there.
Right.
Let's put some money over there. Warren, how does Facebook work? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is anybody friends with Warren Buffett on Facebook? Does he have a page? I don't even know.
I don't even know.
He probably doesn't.
I don't even know.
But guess what? He owns a good share of it.
Man. You dropping major stuff, man. So look, this is why it's gonna be hard to end this show, man. You just gave me something else. Think about who we saw in the picture. A former drug dealer, a former street hustler, a former this, that, or the other, sit down in a picture with the likes of Warren Buffett. Who else was in that picture? Bill Gates with Jay-Z?
Bill Gates, Jay-Z, yeah. Warren. Because I've seen a couple pictures with Warren. Warren is always in the pictures right. with people who come from different walks of life.
Right,
he has a degree in not knowing. He always is in there. You think Warren Buffett said, "Don't shoot me with Jay"? I don't want to be seen with Jay-Z, the drug dealer.
Whatever.
I understand. He understands life and the spectrum of how things are going this way. Yeah. And he understands that he's of age, and if he wants to be relevant, he has to keep everything down here relevant, younger, fresher, which way things are moving. Y'all don't even know that Mark Cuban, if you don't know who Mark Cuban is, that's a problem.
Right.
But Mark Cuban has a thing, it's called Cyberdust. Cyberdust. It is a text messaging platform that truly erases text messaging. It's called Cyberdust. Anytime you send a text message about anything, it can be found. Cyberdust is one of the only text messaging platforms that it truly gets erased.
Wow.
Mark Cuban. Now, how did he come up with this? He actually came up with it sitting in on a panel with what's the guy, the Spanish guy with the glasses. He always going around. They were sitting in on a panel. He was interviewing Mark Cuban, and he came up with the idea. But he was like, "Man, I'm too old for this.
Right.
I'm too old for this." But one thing he knows that people really want, they want to be able to send messages and have that message completely go away.
Yeah.
And boom, Cyberdust. It's going to be a takeover.
Wow. Major nuggets. We have Charlotte that says, Charlotte, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Charlotte or Charlotte? I'm saying that one way or the other.
We're going to call you Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi, right. Chi-Chi said, never be the smartest person in your circle. If we're losing in that circle. Hey, that's 100% right there. That's 100%.
Yep.
All right, well, listen, man, we're going to go and wrap this thing right here, man. Otherwise, we'll be here for another 2 hours.
Easily.
I got some more work to do. But I love this right here, though, man. I love this.
Juicy. Y'all tag and share this. This some entertaining stuff right here.
You got to share this.
This going to go in rotation. If Glenn don't get the most likes on this, and y'all don't love me.
Right.
And my price going up.
The price just went up.
The price just went up.
I'm going to say this. With that, invest in yourself. I know we talked about people spending money on education. Invest in yourself first. Bet on yourself first. Whatever the price is, don't look at the price, look at the value. Bet on yourself. Don't expect just because you invest in yourself that you're going to be an overnight success, because you're getting education from people who have been, I guess our overnight success was 20 years in the making. You know what I mean? So look at it that way. Now, I'm not saying that because you invest, you got to wait 20 years, but set some expectations for yourself, not just the person that you're paying the money to. Set some expectations for yourself that you're willing to do what it takes to get the job done. So with that being said, we're going to wrap it right there, man. Is there anything else you want to leave them with?
Hey, love y'all.
How do you get in contact with you, man?
You guys want to get in contact with me? 678-748-7888. Send me a text message right now if you have any questions. If you have any concerns, if you have any deals that you want us to take a look at, send it to us right now. My team is in the streets right now. Shout out to Mark, shout out to Dice, shout out to Walt. And like I said, if you're an agent or you're an agent and you want to be a part of a real estate brokerage that specializes with working with investors in the city of Atlanta, give us a reach out, send me a text message, send me your information. Shout out to Tim, definitely shout out to Tim. Shout out to Will and the whole family, man. Everybody, shout out to Dustin and Atlanta Rhea for doing everything that they do, everything that they got coming up. And it's about to be 2020, y'all.
When is wholesaling live and Sip and Flip again?
Sip and Flip, I had to get the dates. Text WSL to 31996 for the Wholesale Live update. We're starting fresh and new. We had a great year starting Wholesale Live. It's not even a year old. So we're starting back Wholesale Live the first Saturday in January. And we have a 8-week curriculum that we're offering now with how to actually do the deal, take notes, and get things done. There's a contract in the curriculum, everything that you need and when you come out to Wholesale Live. As far as Sip and Flip, we got a new location down by the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's going to be held there for the first quarter. We I told you our price is going up.
Yes, indeed.
Price is going up. Overhead going up. So we got to I got some clients that's coming in from out of town. We got
because you're adding more value.
I'm adding more value.
Yeah.
I'm adding more value. We got some guys coming down from New York who going to host. And it's going to be a good look. So again, 678-748-7888. Or you can email us at admin@gwpconsultingnow.com. Glenn, I appreciate you having me.
No doubt, man. Listen, I appreciate you coming through, man. Major thing.
That's how you know it's cool. You see how the snap?
Right.
I be dabbing brothers up. They're like, hey, man. And the hands just do like that. Glenn, I got the snap. That's how you know we real brothers here, because the snap is important.
For sure. Make sure y'all didn't miss that.
Wasn't no snap. We ain't brothers. You come from the other side of the tracks. Hey, brother, how you doing? Slide.
Oh, man. All right, listen. Informational and entertaining, educational and entertaining.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, this is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show, where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we definitely bring you real life real estate solutions. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. And this is where I gotta get up and press the button.